Hi everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to look at credit cards in our borrowing money unit. Let's begin with some basic ideas. The first idea I want to express to you is just that with credit cards, there are always going to be monthly payments. So seeing their monthly payments, it's a regular payment question, meaning we get to use our calculator. A term that might come up sometimes is something called a rebate. A rebate is money off the cost or the price of an item. So you won't pay full price. The third item I want to talk about is you want to make sure that you pay off your credit cards each month to avoid costly interest charges. Credit cards are great for short-term debt, so a month long, maybe 2 months long, but you don't want to keep debt on a credit card. If you're keeping it there for 6 months or so, you're going to be paying lots of interest and you should maybe try to get into a loan. All right, example 1. Ruby will use credit to buy a work of Salish art for $2,000. She can afford monthly payments of $100. Which option is the better choice and why? All right, so if we're going to make a decision on what's a better option, then we actually have to determine the price or the cost of each option and then compare them to each other. So let's get doing that. All right, option A. And by the way, option A is up here. So bank loan with monthly payments, okay, that's important. And it says 8.9% interest compounded monthly. So I don't need to go through the whole simple or compound interest thing like that because I see it's monthly payments. So right away I know it's going to be compound interest and I'm dealing with my calculator. All right, time to write these values out. Okay. Let's fill some things out. Okay, so, well, first of all, monthly payments. So I know that there's going to be 12 payments a year. Interest looks like it's 8.9%. The present value. Okay, the present value, so that's how much debt you're actually acquiring. So it's $2,000. All right, so we put negative $2,000. The payment, it looks like it's going to be monthly payments of $100. The future value will always be 0 in all of our borrowing questions because we're planning on paying the entire debt off. Now I have f/y. That is supposed to be a c/y. I'm sure you're sitting there thinking, what the heck's going on? But c/y is how often it's compounded, and that is monthly as well. And it says that right there. Okay, so you can see that the n value is the last thing I need to know. Once I know n, remember n is the total amount of payments you're going to make, I can then figure out the cost. So I'm going to plug all of that in and I'll get 21.73. So I'm going to take that to 2 decimal places. So 21 payments wouldn't be enough. You need 0.73 of one more payment. So I guess truly 22 payments, but we're just going to leave it as 21.73 payments. Now the cost. Okay, the cost will always be equal to the value of your payment times n, the number of payments you make. So it's a $100 payment, and you're making 21.73 payments of that value, and multiplying by 100 is nice. So I get $2,173. Okay, so that is the value of option A. But to compare it, we need something to compare it to, so I better check out option B. So option B is over here. Store credit card with an immediate rebate of $100 and there's 18.3% interest compounded daily. So it's a credit card, so I know it's regular payments. And if I know it's regular payments, then I have to write this out. Again, these are the calculator settings. And depending on the calculator you use, I guess they could look a little bit different. Okay. So my interest rate is 18.3%. Got that. Compounded daily, so that's 365. I've got that. Store credit with an immediate rebate of $100. So again, rebate means you're getting some money back. So I'm not going to owe the full amount. I'm going to owe $100 less than that full amount. So it was $2,000, but 2,000 minus 100 would mean 1,900. And I got to make sure I put my negative sign in there. Payment will be the same. It's $100. Future value, I'm going to pay that puppy off, so it's going to be 0. Payments per year, it is monthly payments because it's a credit card, so again, that's 12. All right, so again, I'm going to look at the n value. I'm going to plug all this stuff in. I get 22.64. So already I know I make more payments. In the previous one, I made 21.73 payments. Now it's making 22.64. But let's just see this through. Check out the cost. Again, the payment value, which is $100, times the number of payments. So this means I'm making 22 full payments and then 0.64 for my final payment. So that'd be a 23rd payment, I guess. And multiply by 100. I get that. Perfect. So it says which option is the better choice and why. So based on what I'm seeing here, the lower price actually ends up being option A. Now in option A, you don't get a rebate. So you actually paid the full price. So how in the world can you actually save money paying like more money at the start? But in the end, we paid less. Excuse me. Well, it comes down to the interest rate. So you can see in the loan, it's a low interest rate, 8.9, compared to the credit card, which is a high interest rate, 18.3. Credit cards are great if you can pay them off monthly. Maybe there's debt for 2 months tops, but after that, you really want to get rid of all that debt, because after that first month, that's when that interest rate starts to kick in. So if you pay before the end of the month, there is no interest. But if you're holding your debt for multiple months, now you're paying 18.3% interest. With the loan, you have that low interest the entire time. So a credit card is great for very short-term debt, but anything long-term, like 22 months, well, that gives a lot of time for that interest to kick in. So that is why it's actually cheaper in this instance to go with that loan. So the loan is better. All right, example 2. Marcel is buying a new canoe for $4,000 on credit. He can afford payments of $350 each month and is considering the 2 options shown. Okay, so first of all, yeah, option A up here, option B. Now, it doesn't really say what to do here, but because I forgot that. Again, let's see what the best option is. So to see what the best option is, we actually have to calculate both scenarios. Okay, option A. It's a store credit card, it says. So store credit card, we talked about it already. Credit cards are always regular payments. Write this down. Okay, so 16.8% interest. Got it. Compounded daily. Got it. Immediate rebate of 1.4% off the first purchase. Okay, and we'll assume this is the first purchase. So again, it's a rebate, meaning you get some money back, but this time we don't get just dollars back, we're getting a percentage back. So it will work out to dollars, but we have to do a calculation first. So up here in the corner, we're used to paying 100% for something, but they're saying they're going to give us a 1.4% rebate on it. So I know that's not a lot of percentage, but it's still something. So that means he's going to be paying 98.6% of his normal, of what the normal price would be. So I'll do that real quick over here. So what he is buying this new canoe for $4,000. So $4,000, but we're going to multiply it by 0.986, which is going to represent the 98.6%. And that works out to $3,944. So instead of paying $4,000, he gets to pay a little bit less. So again, that's a rebate when you get a discount, money back. Okay, so we've dealt with that. Payment, it says $350 payments. And you may have noticed that I forgot my negative sign, so I'm going to go back here in red and just put that so it stands out. Future value will be 0, and these are monthly payments, so we're making 12. Okay, so plug all that into your calculator and see what you get. I got 12.36. All right, so to figure out the cost, we already talked about this once. The payment value, so $350 times the amount of payments we're making, 12.36, 12 full payments. Then our 13th will be 0.36 of a regular payment. Anyway, multiply that together, I get $4,326. Okay, once again, we don't know if that's good or bad until we check out the other one. So we'll look at option B. It is a bank loan at 8.8% interest compounded monthly. So it doesn't tell us if it's regular payments or not in that part, but if I read the sentence itself, again, it says $350 each month. So in that kind of first part, it was telling us that it's monthly payments, because loans, as we already know, can be monthly payments or single repayment. All right. So let's start picking some things off. 8.8%. Present value. Well, there is no rebate, so it's going to be the full $4,000. Payment. Oh, I got to put the negative in. Payment, $350. And again, let's make that really stand out, that negative. Future value will be 0. We said monthly payments, so payments per year is 12. That's the schedule we're on. The P/Y is the schedule you're on, not necessarily how many payments you've made that year, but he's on a schedule to pay 12 times. And compound interest would be 12 as well. Okay, plug all that in. Calculator should give you 11.98. So again, I can see that this is a better option already because I'm paying less times. Very close though in this case. So we'll check out the cost though. The payment value, 350 times the end value, 11.98. Okay, and then I get $4,193. Okay, and if I check it out, once again, this happens to be the cheaper option. Now, it's not saying that credit cards are always terrible, but they are always terrible when you are holding your debt for a long time. You don't want to carry debt on a credit card. You want to look to get into a loan or a line of credit that has a lower interest rate. So once again, the reason the credit card is more money is that if you check out these interest rates, the credit card has double the interest rate basically. So there's just more interest being calculated every month. And we have a lot of months. We have that debt on there for 12 months. So again, credit cards aren't bad, but try to pay it off that month so there's no interest charge. And if not, maybe the next month you get it paid off. So for short-term debt, I guess the credit card, but for anything longer, we're looking at lines of credit or loans. Okay, so that's all I have for credit today. If you're having trouble, make sure you come find me. Otherwise, have a great night.